right, good evening. This is the Brattleboro Select Board meeting of Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. We are reconvening after our executive session, and I note that the meeting was properly warned. And
our ASL interpreter is not video up yet.
And actually, our video is frozen.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And our
Yeah, you're
first order of business is to approve the minutes from February 15th, 2022. Are we set?
The video's frozen.
The video's frozen.
Not that we're the most visually interesting, but it might be nice to.
Oh.
There we go.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, sometimes it grabs the last frame rather than give you the old blue. Remember when everything would go blue?
No,
No, it was the 80s.
Some people pay more attention to that.
I was born then.
I was born there.
I wasn't even born yet.
You heard of special
Oh
Ghostbusters?
my God. You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh, no.
All right, good. All right. Good evening, everyone. We've reconvened from our executive session, and our first order of business is to approve the minutes from February 16th, 2022. Daniel, would you like to give us a motion for
I
that?
would love to give you a motion, and the motion is as follows. I move to approve the minutes of February 15th, 2022.
Thank you. Daniel has made a motion to approve the minutes from February 15th of 2022. Any discussion? Seeing none? All select board members in favor of approving the minutes, please raise your hand and say aye.
Hi.
Great, 5-0. Thank you very much. All right, chair's remarks. I just want to note that it's election day, and we are focused on the beauty of democracy. And I thank everyone for running and everyone for voting, especially for people who stood out in the cold. Manager's comment?
Yes, I have a couple of comments. The first is the town report will be available at the Brooks Memorial Library tomorrow afternoon. Second, if you can check the news section of the town website, on the right side of the homepage, you'll see election information and the RTM Finance Committee report, as well as digital version of the town report can be found there. And finally, also we have the second quarter local option tax information, and it's second quarter for rooms and meals tax was $104,484,000, and for a total of $230,003. And the sales tax for the second quarter was $263,581 for a total of $533,726. And that information will be sent to each of you.
Great. Are there select board members who have comments they'd like to make? Yes.
Yeah, I was helping out the polls today, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Hillary Francis and the rest of the town clerk staff, and then also the Board of Civil Authority and the volunteers who helped make the election today go really smoothly. And if you haven't voted yet, the polls are still open, and they'll be open till 7 o'clock. You can go to the American Legion. And if you still have an absentee ballot, you can deposit it up till 7 o'clock at the drop box at the Municipal Center, or there's also a drop box at the American Legion in the front lobby.
Thank you, Ian. Jessica?
I just wanted to mention, today we have the local elections, but that's not the only way that you can get involved in getting your voice heard or in helping make decisions for the town. You can always show up to the public comment section of any select board meeting. You can also join any committee, and we approve applications for those on a rolling basis throughout the year. So there are lots of openings currently on lots of different committees, and you can find that on the town website. I think it's really exciting and important and inspiring to see folks coming out for elected office, but it's also inspiring to see folks who want to get involved at the committee level, because a lot of our work is approving and giving gold stars, or that's the wrong word, but appreciating and furthering the work that the committees do. And I think that's a really important role for community members to take as well.
Thank you, Jess. Daniel?
Go ahead, Sam.
No,
Oh, okay. Well, seeing as we were on this topic of like how to get involved, it occurred to me that on March 9th, Wednesday, March 9th, we will have the representative town meeting informational meeting. And preceding that will be district caucuses. And I believe districts 1 and 3 will likely still have at least a couple of open seats. And if you would like to participate in representative town meeting and be a member of that decision-making body, but you did not get on the ballot today, and you live in District 1 or District 3, there is still that opportunity to do so on March 9th. And I'm sure that if they were to contact the town clerk's office after mid-morning tomorrow, maybe give Hillary and the staff a few hours, they could tell you more information.
Thank you, Daniel. Tim?
Yeah, and just in the theme of appreciation, I just wanted to give all my appreciation and my family's appreciation to everybody who teamed together for Winter Carnival. I mean, it is outstanding this year. They really did a great job considering different obstacles that we had on the continuing pandemic front, but there were some great opportunities, free things to do for families, and it was really a great effort. Led, of course, by Carol, but there's a whole community team that does this every year, and it's very nice, all the activities that went on. So thank you.
How about those ice shanties, huh?
Oh yeah, that was a nice one.
Congratulations. You won an award.
I won an award. I'm an award-winning artist. Oh, I'll keep my day job though. All right. Public participation. Are there members of the public who would like to speak on a topic that is not on tonight's agenda?
First up is Summer Price.
Summer, please join us.
Too close.
There we go.
Can you hear us?
Just on you.
We can see you.
Summer, we can see you. We cannot hear you.
Don't say anything. Amen.
Stand by. We'll make sure it's not on this end, right?
Oh, there we go.
Okay, Summer, now we can hear you and not see you.
Maybe.
There we go.
Did you say a few words?
Can you say something so we can see if we can hear you, Summer?
Does Summer
Can you hear us?
intentionally have her hand up, or?
Yeah.
Is there Summer, can you hear us? There- Summer, would you like to speak to us?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Do we need to,
Is there
if there's
someone
someone
else
else,
in
then
the
we
queue
can
we can-
come back.
That's
Summer?
it. Just summer.
All right.
Last call.
Last chance to speak, Summer.
You can send us an email.
Not gonna interrupt him. Wait a minute.
You know what, there might be a delay. it seems.
Mouth moving.
Try
Yeah.
speaking one more time, Summer. Yes, please speak.
Is this the time when the public can speak?
Yes, it is. Please join us.
All right.
Someone's not looking.
Summer, you have the floor.
They're talking to.
Yes, Summer, this is the
Satellite.
time for the public to speak. So please join us and tell us what you want to tell us.
All set?
Okay, Summer, if you would like to contact us, please do. All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. There's 4 items that the information is presented in the public packet. State Farm Insurance Company grant, limited access, limited accessibility lift, police cruiser upfit, and cemetery maintenance. These 4 items are in the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Jessica,
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
thank you. Jessica has moved to
As percent.
As
as
presented.
presented.
Sure.
To approve the consent agenda as presented. All select board members in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 All right, that has passed 5-0. Now, let's convene as liquor commissioners.
Oh,
Yes.
I move that we convene as liquor commissioners.
Okay.
Got excited.
All in favor of convening as liquor commissioners, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Here we are. We are now officially liquor commissioners. And we will be reviewing the approval of the Latches Pub and Latches Underground. Does someone want to tell us about that? Yoshi or Patrick?
Yeah, so the Latches Pub and Latches Underground has been approved by all, by planning, by fire and police, and all approvals for this liquor license approval.
Okay, so it's first and third class liquor license and annual entertainment license. And I have previously asked about the flooding situation, and I understand that it is not strictly the purview of the liquor license to review the flooding, and that the control of the flooding situation seems to be an insurance issue, not a liquor license issue. So are there questions or comments that you all might have?
Is there a representative
Yeah.
from?
Is there a representative from the Latches Pub here?
They might raise their hand.
They were here, might be an opportunity to get their community excited about the space being filled with
Yes,
something.
yes.
I am having a Yogi Berra moment at the moment with the, I feel like I've been through this several times in the last 5 years. or so.
Not, nobody goes there anymore, it's too crowded.
No,
Is this the
that
one where
we've
they-
issued licenses, but then, yeah.
Is this the one where they have to be here?
Thank you for
Somewhere
that.
like one of these things.
Hello?
Hello.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
I
Yep.
can.
Yeah.
Please tell us your name and tell us about.
David Ingerman.
Great. Tell us a little about the.
Well, it has been a Yogi Berra thing. It's been one thing after another, including a personal health crisis, but and COVID. And I was ready to open 2 years ago, but the start of the pandemic, it made no sense to do it. So we're basically ready to open as on or around early May, when the liquor permit would be started. It has been an adventure. A lot of people have seen the upstairs and it looks pretty beautiful. And we're very excited. So.
Well, that's great. So go ahead.
Well, I just have a question out of curiosity. What's the relation of the upstairs to the downstairs in your vision right now?
The same, they're one and the same operator. Actually, the operator is Delta Pi Brattleboro, which owns Ramontos. And the upstairs is going to function more as a kind of a pub fare with sandwiches and things. And the issue up there is that you can't cook up there because you wouldn't want a vent hood sticking out into a historic building. So all the cooking is done, but it's the commercial kitchen is hundreds of feet away. So there's some logistical issues there. So the pub will be open probably every day. The downstairs will be open on select times, typically Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, and also probably for special events and private parties and things. You know, with any business, you have to run the business for a while to figure out exactly how your model's going to work. But we have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen down there. But the upstairs, the people at the Latches have given us a lot of historical things from the old theater, and I think it will represent itself well as kind of a location that people will want to come to in Brattleboro. And upstairs, it's going to be sandwiches, hot and cold foods, salads, beer and wine only upstairs. And we're very excited to get that open. That is technically open, ready to go today. The basement, we still have about a month's worth of touch-ups to get that ready, but we should be ready by early May. And the big issue right now is staffing, which is a very difficult thing throughout the hospitality industry, and food availability. So before we open, I got to make sure we have staff and I got to make sure we have food. And those two are not 100% certain right now. So it's we're going to have to play it by ear a little bit based on those realities.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Thank you very much. Are there more comments to be made?
Just that's really exciting.
Yeah,
I know everybody's waiting, so we're ready for it. And it has been a bit of a Yogi Bear moment. I agree. So.
Well, I sense dinner and a movie in my future.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Now, are we ready to vote?
There is someone with their hand up. I know it's Summer Price. I don't know if it's related in any way to this particular liquor license or not.
Well, let's ask her.
All right.
Sorry, everybody. I switched to my phone because it wasn't going through. The unmute part wasn't going through, and I was just going to ask if we could escalate the emergency climate crisis actions for the schools. I'm particularly worried about the mental health of the school children, and I was just wanting to push an emergency agenda for climate crisis. Basically, I did write something out, but I know I'm past time. For whatever reason, you weren't able to unmute me, and I also just want to thank you guys. Thank you all for your service work. I'm so thankful for all of you, and that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Summer. Things that pertain to this school are best brought to the attention of the school board, but thank you for your comment. Now, are we ready to vote?
Are you ready for a motion?
I am ready for a motion.
Unless I missed that.
No, you didn't. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve a first and third class liquor license and an annual entertainment license for the Latches Pub and Latches Underground at 6 Flat Street in Brattleboro.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Tim has moved to approve a first and third class liquor license and an annual entertainment license for the Latches Pub and Latches Underground at 6 Flat Street. All select board members in favor of this motion, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 All right, 5-0, unanimous. Best of luck to you.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much.
Thank you.
Hopefully your Zoom will be resolved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. All right,
Patrick, fast draw.
let's adjourn as liquor commissioners.
I move that we adjourn as liquor commission.
Great. All in favor of adjourning as liquor commissioners, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
5-0. We are now back as select board members and ready for unfinished business. All right, downtown sidewalk snow removal, second reading and possible adoption of proposed ordinance amendments. Yoshi, would you like to discuss this with us?
Yes, well, based on the select board's recommendations, we made some changes to the ordinance to include the two, putting back in the old practice of reimbursement of the town as if it fixes some of the problems or cleans the area. And also we reduced the time for enforcement from 48 hours to 24 hours.
Great, yes, and those were reflected from the public comments we made 2 weeks ago. Does the select board have comments to make about this?
I have a procedural question.
Yes.
Is this a second reading, given that we made changes to the ordinance in the first reading? So it's essentially a different ordinance than the first reading?
I believe I remember Bob saying that the changes were not substantial enough to require a new first.
Okay.
Patrick's.
That's my
nodding his
recollection
head.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And consistent with hearing him
Right.
speak on these issues for a long time.
Yeah.
I have another procedural.
Yes.
Should it actually be read for the benefit of
Yes.
Yes.
all?
I consider that to be a volunteer.
I can read, yes,
You can read?
I can read this in front of me. I'm just a little confused on the sections and chapters, but I'll just read it as presented right here and make sure you can correct me if there's any typos. Section 14-5. By town upon owner's failure, collection of costs. A, in the event that any property owner shall neglect or otherwise fail to remove all snow and ice within 24 hours of the accumulation thereof, the town may remove or cause to be removed the same at the expense of the property owner. B, in the event that said property owner shall not reimburse the town for such expense within a reasonable time after receiving notice thereof, the town may recover such expense together with all legal costs in an action of contract brought under this section. So that was section 14-5. This is chapter 14, article 1, section 8 penalty, a change which reads 14-8. A person who violates section 14-4 of this ordinance shall be fined the sum of $200 for each day that the violation exists, and the waiver fee of for such offense shall be $100 per violation.
Thank you, Jim. I may have missed this, but could someone explain to me what the waiver fee is?
It's my understanding that this is part of all of our fines and fees, that we give an opportunity for someone to say that they don't have the means to be able to pay. So we have a reduced opportunity for them to pay a reduced amount.
All right. Are there members of the public who wish to speak on this?
Not currently.
Very good. Any select board members wish to comment on this second reading?
Great now.
Dick DeGray. Okay.
Is he
Here we go. All set?
somewhere?
Yeah,
we can
you're
hear-
hard to see, but we can certainly hear you.
Is that sunshine?
Okay. Yeah.
Daylight and sunshine.
Yeah. Too much sunshine. That's right. I'm getting ready to go to the Fat Tuesday parade.
Nice.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't go to 12 hours, but I do understand that. I really like the fact that it's a escalating fine for every day that the sidewalk is not cleared. So I am in strong support of this. You don't get everything you want, so I got a good piece of the pie. And I would hope that the board would support this ordinance. And I hope that, not like most ordinances that we have, that this is heavily enforced. And if it needs to be, downtown is a heavy traffic area, and pedestrian safety is a big issue in our community. And having our walkways clean will go a long way in protecting our citizens in the winter months. So thank you. And I'll be looking for a 5-0 vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dick.
Thank you, Dick.
Happy Mardi Gras. All right, such a busy day. Jessica, do you have something?
Sure. I just want to acknowledge that we got some really interesting information from the DBA, Stephanie Bonin, who surveyed a bunch of downtown businesses and property owners. And I think that, the ordinance is one way to go about improving snow clearing in the downtown. And I think that the surveys that she did of the folks that are downtown might indicate that the systems in place now for snow removal might not be the most effective. So I'm wondering if there's an opportunity to have those conversations later on, or encourage Public Works and the town manager's office to take a look at what's working and what's not working, beyond a punitive measure, to see if there's a different system to address
Well,
the challenges.
I think, what we heard last week was a variety of opinions, but I think it's focused on, a couple of bad apples that need to be fined. And so let's try this change. And if there's more consternation, or if it's not working, then we'll revisit it. But I think we should give it a chance to work. Dana, did you have a comment?
I was going to say exactly the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that, this is a seasonal thing. We're coming to the end of the winter. This ordinance won't go into effect probably until right at the tail end of snowfall season, if at all. So let's see how it works next year. If it is not the tool for the job and we need to look at other things, let's at least give that season a chance to play out. I was actually really impressed by the snow removal that has taken place over the last couple of days. It looks like property owners really did a great job of clearing the sidewalks downtown, and that the town staff through DPW did an excellent and really quick job of getting down there and clearing out the leftover snow from the edge of sidewalks and parking spaces. So, a good team effort, and hopefully we'll never need to use fines.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Anyone else?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's have a motion.
Oh, I'll do it.
Okay,
Okay, I move to amend Chapter 14, Article 1, Section 14-5, and Chapter 14, Article 1, Section 14-8, regarding the removal of snow and ice from downtown sidewalks.
great. Daniel has moved to amend Chapter 14, Article 1, Section 14-5, and Chapter 14, Article 1, Section 14-8, regarding the removal of snow and ice from downtown sidewalks. All select board members in favor of this motion, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Thank you all very much. And Tim, thank you for reading.
Oh, certainly. I always could use the practice.
Yes. Okay. Rule requiring face coverings in indoor public spaces. Who would like to begin?
Not me.
I'll begin.
Okay.
Last meeting, we chose to extend the rule for 30 days. In the time since then, the CDC guidance on public health measures, including masks, has shifted. They have developed a new sort of assessment kind of criteria for communities to use at the county level. And this happened on Friday afternoon after this agenda was created and published. In that assessment, it shows that Windham County, based on 3 criteria, and God knows if I can remember them. One is basically case rate. Another one is percentage of hospital beds occupied by COVID people during the last week. COVID people who are there because of COVID for some reason or other. And thirdly, just the rates of hospitalization within the last 7 days. Yeah. And so Windham County, the top line thing to know is that Windham County's assessment level is the lowest level of 3.
Yep.
And as such, the CDC's recommendation is you can relax public health measures such as masks. And thus, I would say, given that our previous rule was kind of hinged upon following CDC guidance, I would say it would follow that given this shift in CDC assessment, we should also end our rule to align with that, with the caveat that should our situation change, we should be ready to put this important public health measure back into place.
Ian,
I want to.
thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I want to thank my fellow board member Quip for that very succinct summary of the CDC guideline change, and also thank the board for agreeing to look at this mask mandate every meeting now for this exact reason, that when we get a change that we can address it as quickly as possible. And finally, I just want to say I'm in full agreement with Daniel, and I don't really see a way that it would go in the face of how the board has been navigating this entire pandemic if we were to do anything that was in opposition to the CDC guidelines. So I'm in agreement. I think it's time to remove the mandate, and if the situation changes, then we assess it at that time.
Jessica?
Sure. I am also in agreement with Daniel that the municipal mask mandate is perhaps right now not necessary. The CDC also recommends that folks who are unvaccinated or immunocompromised continue to practice measures like masking and social distancing because there is still a risk of transmission for them and potentially a risk of more severe consequences for them. So I think that that's also important to mention, that this is no longer going to be, well, maybe a town mandate, but individual choices and individual business choices and individual venue choices are free to go either way. And I just want to call on our community to respect each other's choices, our local businesses' choices, to protect their staff, their unvaccinated folks, their folks caring for at-risk individuals, and just as we move forward, just to have that sense of care for each other and each other's choices, now that this may no longer be a mandate.
Thank you, Jessica. Jim?
Yes, so I agree with the sentiments expressed so far. And I'm glad you put it that way, Jess, because my only note here was just to make sure that everybody understood that this board is not making any recommendations for personal behavior or whether or not you should continue to wear a mask, because some people will decide they really should for a few more weeks or months even. And other people will feel that, they were done a few months ago. And that's not our job to make a statement about that right now, but we're simply addressing the mandate, the town rule that we're discussing removing now. And just want to make that absolutely clear that mandate does not necessarily directly translate into, a should, or there's still going to be that personal choice, as you note. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone's thoughtful comments. I agree with them. And I'm ready to vote.
I think we should.
Public comment?
Is there public comment?
I don't know.
Nope. Pick to gray.
Let there be light.
Okay. My
Okay.
question for the board is, if you vote in support of this, will you be unmasking at the board meetings?
Yes.
Why is that relevant?
I think each
Well, the
of us
reason
will
I
make
asked
our
that,
own
I mean,
personal
Oh, yeah.
choice, whether we're comfortable or not with it.
Yes, I understand that, but it'll make it much easier to hear you and understand you once the masks are removed. That's why I asked this question. And I do know that this is an individual choice.
I think
Okay.
it's a reasonable question, but honestly, I hadn't thought about it. So,
You know what? Tune in 2 weeks and you'll find out. Yes, Danny.
I think that Dick's question is fair. And I also think, like Jessica was kind of pointing towards this, like this transition from whether we think it's a rule, mandate, ordinance, whatever, like the public's perception of this thing is that it carries weight and that us lifting it is of consequence. And people are going to feel differently about it. Many people are going to be really nervous going into the community, seeing people not wearing masks. Some people will be really happy seeing people not wearing masks. And I think that we just need to be kind to one another over this transitional period. And, last summer we had this, kind of couple of months of like grace time that looking back on it now, seems wonderful. But, it's a transition. And so like people have like lost family members and have experienced hospitalization and, illness and inconvenience. And, so it's like, just be nice to each other. I remember when we removed it last year and I went to the grocery store without wearing a mask, knowing that like I could do so, but I felt like I don't have an appropriate word for the how I felt, but I felt really iffy about myself. And it took a while for people in the community to feel like they could go out without masks. And, there's going to be that transitional period, and let's just be nice to each other as much as we can.
I wish we could legislate kindness, but we can't.
We can't.
And I was talking to somebody yesterday who said, I just might still wear one because I don't want to catch a cold.
Sure.
And, that's in the mix as
Yeah.
well. So, any more, just public? Jessica.
Just one more follow-up on Daniel's comment. I think it's really, it is that anxiety that's out there and the differences in risk tolerance that are out there. But there are also some real feelings of exclusion and accessibility. And I really want to encourage folks to consider, as we or they or individuals or businesses or venues consider this masking issue, who they are limiting access for when they make the choice that they make. And that's really been an interesting question for me and my work in the arts as well. So.
All right. How about a motion? Oh, yes, Patrick.
Gary Stroud has his hand up.
Gary Stroud. Gary, please join us.
Well, I do appreciate what you guys are doing. And I was so happy being down there during the election, seeing you guys down there, you know, in support with you. I was going to bring some coffee down, but you guys disappeared. So I just like to reiterate everything what you guys say. It's about, you know, courtesy, compassion, and good old fashioned common sense when what we do with each other and with our neighbors when we're out there, and showing that love that, hey, you know, we're looking out not just for ourselves, but for each other. And I think this is just like last year when we gradually started lifting the mask mandate, even around the summertime. But knowing that when this does come about, if it comes about again in the winter, we'll know exactly how to handle it and what to do. And I'm really honored and proud that, you know, that everyone is doing their bit and their part, and everyone continues to do that. And just keep it up. Thank you.
Okay, so the only other question I have is this as of tonight, as of tomorrow? Tonight. Very good. All right. Do you want to make a
Could
motion?
use the word immediately.
I don't think is it require a motion?
Oh, I think we should.
We might, I think we ought to.
I think it extends another 15 days, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Because we said
last
for 30
time,
Yeah, I
days,
was
wasn't
saying,
Yeah.
you extended it to 30
Yeah.
days.
it? So we need to cancel it.
Yeah.
So we need to cancel that.
Okay.
Who fancies that?
Yeah. Oh, I know. I mean, Tim wants to do it. You know, Tim wants to do it. Well, do we want to have a discussion about when it actually goes into effect? I think, given all of what we've just said, it would make sense for it to be an immediate,
Right.
you know, it's late, nothing's open, or things are going to close soonish. So it's not going to impact things now that much.
Tomorrow, when we wake up, it'll have been done.
Oh, and in effect, that kind of reiterates the idea that everyone's going to make their own choices anyway, going forward.
Yeah.
So there's no time needed to prepare for such a thing, because if you're going to be cautious, you're going to continue to wear it for a little while, right?
I'm just more meaning for the wording of your motion.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Effective immediately.
Effective immediately, or if we wanted to do
How about something like, I move to rescind the rule requiring face coverings in indoor use, effective immediately. Should I say it again?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Tim has moved to rescind the rule requiring face coverings for indoor use effective immediately. All select board members in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Thank you very much. All right, new business, committee assignments. The board is asked to appoint Tim Kipp as fence viewer and Samuel B. Stevens to the
Yeah,
cemetery
I'm gonna leave mine
committee.
on.
I didn't hear that.
Vice Chair Goodnow was motioning to take off his mask, and I said I'm going to leave mine on.
Well, the thing is, the town policy currently is keep your masks on in municipal facilities.
Correct.
So
That's a very good point.
there you go. Just keep them on. Sorry, Patrick.
All right, Elizabeth.
Well, yes, further information will be coming from our town manager on that.
Mhm.
All right, anyone want to move about these, a motion about these appointments? Yeah,
Yes. I move to appoint Tim Kipp as fence viewer and Samuel B. Stevens to the cemetery committee.
thank you, Ian. Ian has moved to appoint Tim Kipp as fence viewer and Samuel B. Stevens to the cemetery committee. All select board members in favor of this motion, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. There we go, 5-0. All right, I want to thank everybody for this evening's attention. And would someone like to move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
All right, all select board members in favor of adjournment, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Great, thank you and good night.